Hello friends, today I'd like to talk about one of the tunes that our jazz bands play and try to analyse the structure for it and make it clear and simple for those of you who tell me that you don't know anything about music and can't read music and so on. And the tune I've chosen is Balling the Jack. We'll have a look at its structure and then we'll see how Tuba Skinny interpret it. So I can tell you first that it's got two parts. We could call the first part the verse, which goes something like bom 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 ba bom ba bom 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 ba bom ba bom 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 ba 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 bom ba bom ba 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 bom, and then that's more or less repeated. And then there is a chorus, which is the more important part because that's the part the musicians improvise on, and that is based on a sequence of chords. These are known to musicians as the circle of fifths. You start on a chord and it naturally leads to a certain other chord and takes you eventually to the home chord of the tune. Right, so to look at it very simply, you've got a verse that goes then bom 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 ba bom ba bom, but then when we get on to the chorus, it happens to start on the chord of G seventh and then goes through C seventh, F seventh and lands on B flat. It uses those chords very simply, more or less playing the notes in the chords. So dom da dom da dom 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 da dom da dom 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 dom. That last one was the C seventh chord, and so on. So that is the kind of thing you've got to listen out for. Let's start off by me just trying to show you those first four bars of the verse. Well, actually that was the first 8 bars of the verse, and the second 8 bars more or less repeat what I've just played. Now let's give some thought to the chorus. So what we have is the G seventh chord leading into the C seventh, leading into the F seventh, leading eventually into the B flat, and that is a very natural progression in music. So really we're starting with G7, which is something like this, and then C7, and then F7, leading into B flat. Well, when you string a bit of melody onto those chords, but basically just play round them, that you then get the second theme of Balling the Jack. Well, now it's time to have a look at what Tuba Skinny do with the tune. To begin with, they decided they needed an introduction. So what they did was they took the last 4 bars from the chorus and they play them right at the start as a very good introduction to the piece. And then they go into that verse, bom, 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 ba, bom, ba, bom, and they play that right through just once. After the verse, they go into the chorus and they play right through it twice as a full ensemble with quite a lot of good collective improvisation that you'll notice as they do that. And then Shay gives a nod to Craig and asks him to lead on the 3rd time through. And while he's playing his solo, the others are backing him very nicely. Craig's solo. Barnabas plays a complete solo on the chorus, and then Shay plays a solo on it, and then she passes it to Max, and in his particular chorus you can hear those chords, the sequence of chords, very, very clearly. And notice also as Max plays his chorus how the other musicians back him with nice harmonic notes from the chords, of course. Now at the end of Max's solo, something interesting happens. They go back and play the verse, which we've only heard once so far. I think the reason for this is that although that sequence of chords is very lovely and successful, nevertheless we've had a lot of it, it's repetitive, it's in danger of becoming a bit monotonous, so Shay breaks it up by taking us back to once through the verse. And then to finish the piece, she has the entire band playing the chorus again twice, and during this time, listen to her improvisations in particular. She's always very close to those chords, she's got them in mind all the time, but she dances very freely around them, and it's a joy to hear. So this is how the performance ends. So finally, may I invite you to watch the entire performance of this tune, listening out for the verse and the chorus in particular, and noticing how that sequence of chords keeps coming through all the 6 times the chorus is played initially, and then twice more at the end. Hope you enjoy it. See you again one of these days. Bye for now.